You keep believing greatness is coming one day, but one day isn't promised. You deserve to be great now. You deserve to live at your highest level now. But some of you never will. You'll never have, you'll never do, you'll never become, because you're waiting. Waiting for permission. Waiting for the call. Waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. You keep sitting there hoping someone will open the door for you. But listen to me, the door is already there. You just haven't had the courage to push it open. So stop waiting. Stop wasting. Stop sleeping on your own destiny. Your time is right now. Your opportunity to get your mama out of that neighborhood, to finally move her somewhere safe, somewhere peaceful. That opportunity might come sooner than you think. Listen to me. You don't know when that door is going to open. It could be 6 months from now. It could be next season. It could be tomorrow morning. You're sitting there thinking, E.T., I just started this job. I've got time. I've got years ahead of me. No, you don't understand. You think you've got forever, but forever can end in a heartbeat. You might work at that job for 10 years, maybe 20, but your breakthrough moment might come just once. One window, one conversation, one open position. And if you're not ready, that chance will slip right through your fingers. Somebody's about to quit. Somebody's about to retire. Somebody's about to get fired. And when that moment hits, that's your shot. That's the chance to level up, to move from average to unstoppable. But if you've been sleeping, if you've been distracted, if you've been scrolling instead of growing, you won't even see it coming. So I'll ask you straight, will you be ready when your opportunity comes? Because time is not waiting on you. You're running out of time, and there's a certain fire you need to have, a certain hunger, a certain determination that says, I'm not waiting for life to give me a handout. I'm training for my moment right now. Success doesn't show up to your doorstep with a delivery note. It only shows up to those who have already been preparing when nobody was watching. You've got to have that bounce back spirit, that get knocked down 9 times, get up 10 attitude, that resiliency that refuses to stay ordinary. See, when opportunity comes, it doesn't wait for you to warm up. It expects you to already be hot. It expects you to be ready, to be sharp, to be hungry. It's not about sitting on the couch playing Call of Duty, waiting for someone to call your name. It's about preparation. It's about showing up before the world even knows your name. It's about being so ready that when the door cracks open, you don't walk in, you run through it. We're not just waiting for opportunities, we're getting prepared before they arrive. Because when the spotlight hits, it's too late to start practicing. I don't want to start when the opportunity shows up. I want to already be ready. I want to walk in with confidence, with precision, with mastery, because I've already put in the work when nobody was clapping. Listen to me, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. You are who you are in practice long before the world sees you perform. And if you haven't put in the work behind the scenes, your performance will just expose your lack of preparation. If you don't practice in private, your failure will be public. You hear me? Your game time becomes practice if you never practice before the game. That's why the off-season is everything. That's why the quiet months matter. It's what you do when no one's cheering that determines how you'll perform when the crowd is roaring. Champions are not built under bright lights. They're built when nobody's watching. It's about that grind when the cameras are off, when the world is asleep, when your friends stop believing. It's doing what you've got to do in the off-season so that when the regular season hits, you don't try to be ready. You are ready. I've said it before, I'm an athlete, I'm a professional. Whether there's an opportunity or not, the real ones still get up. They get dressed. They show up. They step out that door and make something happen every single day. They don't wait for a perfect day, a lucky break, or a sign from the universe. They wake up and create the moment. I still wake up early, still shoot, still sharpen my edge. Last week, a young kid hit me up. He said, E.T., thank you, bro. I got up at 5 a.m. this morning to practice my soccer drills. Then he said something that broke me. He said, but that's not the point. I didn't even make the team. Let that sink in. He's not on the team, yet he's practicing like he already made it. He's preparing for an opportunity that doesn't even exist yet. That's what hunger looks like. See, there are 2 kinds of people in this world. Those who only move when the event comes, and when it doesn't, they disappear. And then there's another kind, the ones who stay hungry, who move even when nothing's moving, who grind when the lights are off, who keep pushing when there's no guarantee. Those are the ones who make it. Those are the ones who create their moment instead of waiting for it. Because real winners don't need a schedule, they need a reason. And their reason is bigger than sleep. Their reason is bigger than comfort. Their reason is everything. Listen to me. I stopped planning for events a long time ago. I don't wait for life to hand me a reason to grind. I plan because discipline is part of who I am. I train because preparation is my identity. I work because I'm a professional, and professionals don't wait for opportunity, they prepare for it. I create my own luck. I don't cross my fingers. I put in the work until luck doesn't even matter anymore. You don't need anyone to rescue you from being average. You don't need anyone to give you permission to rise. The only person who can pull you out of mediocrity is you. So if I asked you right now what's holding you back, you'd already know. You're not clueless. You're not lost. You know exactly what your challenge is. You know the habits, the distractions, the weaknesses, but you refuse to fight them. So I'm asking you, when will you fight back? When will you finally stand up against the version of yourself that keeps settling for good enough? At what point will you stop letting fear and comfort dictate your future? You've got greatness inside you. It's not something you need to find, it's something you need to unleash. You are capable, you are powerful, you are built for more. But if you stay comfortable, if you keep living in the land of average, you'll never see what's waiting for you on the other side. If you settle for being good, you'll never taste what it feels like to be great. I'm challenging you today. Fight it. Fight that lazy voice in your head. Fight that fear that keeps whispering tomorrow. Fight that comfort that's been keeping you small. We all have 24 hours, every single one of us. The difference between average, good, and great has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with your last name, your background, or where you were born. It's not about privilege, it's about priority. The great ones use their 24 hours like their life depends on it, because it does. The average wastes them waiting for a miracle. So decide, are you going to live average, or are you finally going to rise? It has everything to do with how you command your life, how you take control of your 24 hours, how you show up when nobody's forcing you to. Because life doesn't reward the privileged, it rewards the prepared. People act like success is genetic. They think if you grow up in a rich house, you automatically win. But open your eyes. We've seen people who had everything fall apart. We've seen kids who grew up with wealth end up lost, broken, addicted, depressed. Money can buy comfort, but it can't buy character. It can buy privilege, but it can't buy purpose. If you settle for being good, you'll never taste what it feels like to be great. I'm challenging you today. Fight it. Fight that lazy voice in your head. Fight that fear that keeps whispering tomorrow. Fight that comfort that's been keeping you small. We all have 24 hours, every single one of us. The difference between average, good, and great has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with your last name, your background, or where you were born. It's not about privilege, it's about priority. The great ones use their 24 hours like their life depends on it, because it does. The average wastes them waiting for a miracle. So decide, are you going to live average, or are you finally going to rise? It has everything to do with how you command your life, how you take control of your 24 hours, how you show up when nobody's forcing you to. Because life doesn't reward the privileged, it rewards the prepared. People act like success is genetic. They think if you grow up in a rich house, you automatically win. But open your eyes. We've seen people who had everything fall apart. We've seen kids who grew up with wealth end up lost, broken, addicted, depressed. Money can buy comfort, but it can't buy character. It can buy privilege, but it can't buy purpose. You think environment guarantees success? It doesn't. Because if you never activate you, then it doesn't matter where you come from. It's all wasted. You're not trapped by your environment. You're trapped by your excuses. And the moment you flip that switch inside your mind, your circumstances lose their power over you. You could live in the richest home in the city or the toughest neighborhood in the world. If your mindset isn't switched on, you're standing still. It's not your background. It's not your zip code. It's your state of mind. See, I had to look back and face a hard truth. I used to live with a victim mindset. Everything was somebody else's fault. My failures, their fault. My pain, their fault. My anger, my frustration, my disappointment, all aimed outward. I thought the reason I wasn't winning was because of them. My mom, my father, my teachers, my boss, my past. I thought everyone else held the keys to my future. But I was wrong. I didn't realize the problem wasn't around me, it was inside me. I didn't realize I was creating the very life I was complaining about. My thoughts were shaping my reality. My emotions were building the walls that kept me stuck. My mindset was creating my prison, and I was the one holding the key. It wasn't my mom. It wasn't my dad. It wasn't my upbringing. It was me. And the day I realized that, the day I stopped blaming and started taking ownership, that was the day everything changed. Because once you understand that you created it, you finally understand that you can change it. You're not trapped by your environment. You're trapped by your excuses. And the moment you flip that switch inside your mind, your circumstances lose their power over you. That's the truth nobody tells you. You've been the author all along. I remember the day it hit me. I said to myself, no, E, you created this. That was the moment I finally understood that I was the greatest common denominator in my life. No matter what situation I was in, there was always one person who kept showing up, me. Once that realization hit, it was like a punch in the chest. I said, oh, okay, you got some confessing to do, bro. Because I couldn't hide behind the excuses anymore. I couldn't keep pointing fingers at my past, my parents, or my pain. The truth was staring back at me in the mirror, and that truth was me. Somebody asked me once, E, what's the hardest thing you've ever done? They expected me to say dropping out, being homeless, or struggling through school. But no, the hardest thing I've ever done was looking in the mirror and telling myself, I'm sorry. That was the real battle. The day I stood there face to face with the man I had become and realized I had betrayed myself. I had lied to myself. I had made promises and never kept them. And in that moment, I had to humble myself and say, you owe you an apology. That's where the Eric Thomas you see today was born. The man you see speaking fire and faith, that version came from that mirror moment. The one where I said, E, you owe yourself correction. You owe yourself discipline. You owe yourself change. You don't need to be saved by anybody. You need to be trained by yourself. You need to become a better human. That was one of the most painful, humbling, and freeing days of my life. The day I confronted myself, corrected myself, forgave myself, and then said, now what are we going to do from here? For years, I blamed everybody. I blamed my mom. I blamed my dad. I blamed the system. Because blaming someone else was easier than doing the work. It was easier to point than to build. It was easier to complain than to change. But what I didn't understand back then was that every time I said it's their fault, I was handing them the keys to my life. I was giving them control of my destiny, and they didn't even know it. Because when you say someone else is responsible for your pain, you also make them responsible for your progress. And if they hold the keys, how will you ever drive? That's why I had to take them back. I had to take my life back from the people I blamed. Because the truth is, it was never about them. It was always about me. And when I got that revelation, I discovered something even deeper: vision. Vision means the ability to see the end before you even start. It's seeing victory before the battle begins. And that's what I need from you today. I need you to see the version of yourself that already made it. See it so clearly that it pulls you through the pain, through the process, through the doubt. That's how transformation starts. When you stop blaming, take back your keys, and start driving toward your destiny. Listen to me. Don't get so caught up in counting the cost. Don't stand there thinking about everything you've got to do, every mountain you've got to climb, every sacrifice that's waiting down the road. No, stop looking at what it's going to cost you and start seeing what it's going to make you. See the vision. See the destination before the first step. See the finish line before the race even begins. You've got to see yourself winning before you ever start moving. I had to see it before it became real. The GED, the 4-year degree, the global stages, the lives changed. It didn't happen because I wished for it. It happened because I saw it, I believed it, and then I worked for it. The problem with most people is they work hard with no direction. They're grinding, but they don't know why. They're chasing, but they can't see the finish line. You don't need to just work harder. You need to discipline your mind, because the body follows where the mind focuses. You're already in pain. You're already struggling. So why not get something from it? Why not earn a reward for your suffering? Listen, everything you're saying might be true. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they left you. Yes, they broke your trust. But why give them your power again? Why let the pain of your past define the peace of your future? They already hurt you once. Don't let them own the rest of your life. It's time to stop replaying the same pain and start writing a new story. You gotta stand up and say, I'm done letting my past dictate my potential. Because pain is universal. Every one of us has it. Some people let pain bury them. Others let pain build them. Pain can be your tombstone or your teacher. It can end you or it can educate you. See, when life cuts you deep, you get to decide what that wound becomes. For some, it's a scar, a reminder of what they overcame. For others, it's a grave, a reminder of what they never got past. So I'm telling you, handle your pain now, because when you get to the next level, there's no more practice rounds. There's no warm-up. You either show up ready or you lose it all. You think it's a curse that you're not there yet? No, it's a blessing. Because this stage, this struggle, it's training you for the level you prayed for. If you got everything you wanted right now, without the growth, without the lessons, you'd lose it. You'd break under the pressure you thought you were ready for. So take this time, build your vision. Don't complain about what's missing. Start working with what's in your hands. Don't wait for opportunity. Become the opportunity. Because once you activate you, once you stop blaming, once you see the vision clearly, the world can't stop you. You were not born to repeat your pain. You were born to rewrite it. You were born to turn your wounds into wisdom, your losses into lessons, and your struggle into strength. So stop counting the cost. Start claiming the crown. See the vision and walk into it. Because the life you want is waiting for the version of you who refuses to give up. I'm talking to somebody right now who's stuck in the loop. You keep saying you want to go to another level, but every morning you go back to sleep. Not because you're tired, not because your dreams don't matter, but because your default is comfort. You've programmed yourself to quit. Listen to me. You go back to sleep because that's what you always do. You go back to your excuses. You go back to your habits. You go back to your fears. You want to change? Then change your pattern. You want to wake up? Then stop going back to sleep. You don't need a miracle. You need a decision. You want peace? Then stop arguing. You want progress? Then stop procrastinating. You want to be rich? Stop spending everything you earn. The problem isn't the world. It's your routine of retreat. Let me tell you how I became #1 in the world. How I became a millionaire. Not because I got lucky. Not because I found some secret shortcut. But because I finally started doing what millionaires do. They told me millionaires only live off 30% of their income. I said, bet, I'm living off 30%. I paid my tithe. I saved my 70%. And I stopped living like I had it all figured out. The very first step to wealth wasn't making more. It was managing better. I started saving 6 months of my income. Did it take time? Yeah. Did it hurt? Absolutely. But I did it because that's what the rich do. Then somebody said, stack 100,000. I said, bet, let's go. Then they said, fix your credit, get it to 800. I said, done. Then one day somebody looked me dead in the eyes and said, Ed, if you want to stand with the giants, if you want to speak like Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, you can't just sound inspired. You got to speak their language. I said, what you mean? I went to an HBCU, I got my degree. He said, that's good, but you didn't learn the language of the majority. You want to impact the world? You got to understand the world. That's when I went to Michigan State. Not for the paper, not for the flex, but for the language. You've never seen my master's degree hanging in my office. You won't find my PhD framed in my house, because I didn't go to show off. I went to level up. I went to learn how the powerful think, how the greats communicate, how the world moves. Because if you can't speak the language of success, you'll never get invited into the room where success lives. See, some of you think education is about validation. It's not. It's about translation. It's about learning how to take your dream and deliver it in the language that opens doors. You keep praying for new levels, but God can't promote you until you fix your defaults. You can't stay broke and talk wealth. You can't stay lazy and pray for greatness. You can't keep going back to sleep and expect to live your dream. You got to break the cycle. Rewrite your code. Rewire your habits. Because the only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want is the version of you that keeps hitting snooze on your destiny. You don't need more time. You need more discipline. And the moment you change your routine, the moment you kill that default, the world won't even recognize you anymore. Because you'll finally be awake. Listen to me very closely. When you graduate, when you step into that first job, when you finally get your shot, remember this. If you want to get paid, if you want to rise, if you want to become undeniable, you never say no. You never say it can't be done. Don't you ever let those words come out your mouth. Even if your mind is screaming, I don't know how. Even if your heart whispers, this seems impossible. Your lips better still say, it can be done. Let the broke folks talk about what's impossible. Let the ones getting fired talk about why something can't work. But you speak possibility. You speak solution. Even if you gotta make something up, speak victory before it happens. Because every time you say it can be done, you train your brain to quit before it even tries. But when you say it's possible, you give yourself permission to find a way. That's how the great ones move. They don't always know how, they just refuse to say can't. Every morning when I button up my shirt, I hear people say, Manny, you dressed for success. And I smile, because success isn't about a tie or a suit. It's not about the brand on your chest, it's about the belief in your spirit. I'm dressed for success because I'm living in my purpose. I'm dressed for success because I'm getting paid to be me. Not a copy, not an imitation. Me. It feels good waking up and not having to explain myself. It feels good saying no when it's not aligned and not having to justify it. Because I've learned something powerful. I can never be great pretending to be you. And you can never be powerful pretending to be me. See, most people are broke not because they're lazy, but because they've been programmed with a poverty mindset. You read poor stuff. You watch poor stuff. You scroll like your thumb's got a mission, but your life doesn't. You sit on Instagram for 30 minutes scrolling through highlight reels. And if I asked you what you just saw, you couldn't even tell me. You're consuming noise instead of creating greatness. Rich people, they don't move like that. They don't waste time because they know time is their most valuable currency. If they're not working, they're studying. If they're not grinding, they're growing. If they're not producing, they're preparing. They don't let entertainment steal their purpose because every second wasted is a dream delayed. So I need you to kill that poverty mindset. Stop acting like time is cheap. Start treating every moment like it could change your life, because it can. When I quit my job to chase this dream, to become a full-time speaker, to build a brand, to change the world, my mom looked at me like I lost my mind. Eric, she said, don't you dare quit. You got a wife, you got kids. YouTube don't give insurance. YouTube don't have a 401k. And I love my mama. But I looked her in the eyes and said, Mom, I love you, but you can't teach me how to be a millionaire because you're not one. See, she came from the working class. And I honor that, I respect it. Because without her grind, without her sacrifices, I wouldn't even have a foundation to stand on. But she told me something growing up. She said every generation should be better than the last. So I told her, Mom, I'll take your values, but I won't take your limits. I'll take your faith, but I won't take your fears. Because rich people don't just work, they think. They strategize, they create, they move with intention. Working hard can make you a living, but thinking different can make you a legend. The difference between the people who dream and the people who dominate isn't talent, isn't luck, it's mindset. The broke say it can't be done. The successful say, I'll find a way. So the next time life throws you a challenge, don't say it's too much. Say, watch me. Don't say I can't. Say, I'm built for this. Because the truth is, you'll never be paid for excuses. You'll only be paid for execution. And if you can learn to think like the rich, move like the disciplined, and believe like the relentless, you'll stop dressing for success and start living it. You think being born poor is the problem? No, the problem is staying poor in your mind. Poor people clock in. I make this much an hour. Rich people, they put others to work and make money while they sleep. They keep 80%. You keep 20%. And the crazy part, you accept it every single day. The truth is simple. You don't get rich by working harder. You get rich by thinking smarter. Stop being average. Stop waiting for motivation. Start thinking, acting, and moving like the 1%. You are running out of time. Listen to me carefully. You are running out of time. It doesn't matter where you came from. GED, high school dropout, single mom, doesn't matter. What matters is, are you going to stay with the 99% or start thinking like the 1%? Because the 1%, they move different. They speak different. They think different. I sat in rooms where I didn't belong, and I studied. I listened to how they talked, how they told stories, how they built ideas step by step. They were linear, topic, support, conclusion. And I learned their language. Because to compete with the 1%, you gotta speak their code. The problem with most people, you got a poverty language, a poverty energy. You say it's too hard, but you have no idea what hard is. Your ancestors worked in the heat, in fields, without AC, without brakes. And they said, we'll go through this so the next generation doesn't have to. And here you are, complaining about Mondays, scrolling on your phone, acting like your life ain't your responsibility. So I'm asking you, who in your life might not get to see you win because you keep playing small? Who might leave this world without seeing you become everything you were meant to be? Who won't taste the fruits of your success because you keep waiting for the right time? The truth is simple. You don't get rich by working harder. You get rich by thinking smarter. Stop being average. Stop waiting for motivation. Start thinking, acting, and moving like the 1%. You are running out of time. Listen to me carefully. You are running out of time. Every second that slips through your fingers is a piece of your potential you will never get back. You think you got tomorrow. You think you've got next month. You think you've got another year. But what if you don't? Your opportunity, that one shot, that one moment that could change everything, might not come when you expect it. It might not wait for your perfect timing. It might not show up in 2 years. It could come in 6 weeks. And if you're not ready, you'll miss it. Narrator, soft, emotional tone. My man told his grandfather, Granddad, I'm graduating in 2 weeks. But before he even walked that stage, his grandfather was gone. He never got to see it, never got to witness that victory. And that's real life. That opportunity to get your mama out that neighborhood, to move her somewhere safe, somewhere peaceful, it might come sooner than you think. You don't know when that door will open. Could be 6 months. Could be tomorrow morning. You think you've got forever, but forever can end in a heartbeat. Your breakthrough might only come once. One window, one conversation, one chance. And if you're not ready, it'll pass you by. Narrator, stronger tone. You say, I'll do it next year. You say, I've got time, but you don't. Time is not your friend. It's your greatest enemy if you waste it. You keep thinking your dream is 5 years away, but it could be today if you just decide to act. You keep saying one day, but one day is not promised. You deserve greatness now. You deserve to live at your highest level now. But most of you never will, because you're still waiting. Waiting for permission, waiting for the call, waiting for that perfect moment that will never come. You keep hoping someone will open the door for you, but the door's been there all along. You just haven't had the courage to push it open. So stop waiting. Stop wasting. Stop sleeping on your own destiny. Your time is right now. Somebody's about to quit. Somebody's about to retire. Somebody's about to get fired. That's your moment. That's your shot. But if you've been scrolling instead of growing, sleeping instead of grinding, you won't even see it coming. So I'll ask you again, will you be ready when your opportunity comes? Because time is not waiting on you. You're running out of time. And you need a certain fire, a certain hunger, a certain determination that says, I'm not waiting for life to hand me my moment. I'm training for it right now.